Movie remakes are usually met with skepticism, but there are some exciting new movies that could be even better than the originals. This is a rare feat for a remake, since only a select few manage to introduce new ideas without being overly reverent of their source material. Even then, affection for the original movie often means that fans aren't open to the idea of those movies being tarnished. The first step to a good movie remake is choosing the right movie. It should offer some room for improvement, or the possibility that a completely new take will be welcomed. The coming years already look like they are about to have more sequels, reboots and remakes than ever before. This can initially look disheartening, but there are some remakes that might as well be original movies, since they are so different from the films they are based on. For example, Spike Lee's new remake of Akira Kurosawa's High and Low takes place in modern-day New York City, with Denzel Washington in the lead role. Remakes like these offer hope that they could be improvements, since they have enough confidence to try new things. 8. The Running Man. Glenn Powell steps into Arnold Schwarzenegger's shoes. Glenn Powell's star has been on the rise for a few years now, and 2025 will see him trying to one-up Arnold Schwarzenegger. Although Powell has had some great performances in action movies like Top Gun, Maverick and Twisters, he certainly doesn't fit into the same mold of action stars as Schwarzenegger, so it will be interesting to see if his version of the Running Man changes things up. The presence of Edgar Wright as director suggests that it will be a completely new take on Stephen King's novel, and it's possible that Wright's humorous style will make use of Powell's comedy chops. Wright has claimed that his remake of The Running Man will be much closer to King's novel than the first movie. One problem with the original adaptation is that Schwarzenegger is a terrible fit for the main character, so the entire story had to be changed to accommodate a muscle-bound action star in the role of a meek, desperate man. Powell isn't too much closer to King's vision, but he's certainly a more likely candidate to play an everyman role than Schwarzenegger. While The Running Man is often admired for its cheesy 80s charms, a remake has the potential to draw out the dystopian tragedy of the novel. 7. Highest to Lowest. Spike Lee takes on a Kurosawa classic. While it seems like a long shot that anyone could remake an Akira Kurosawa movie and improve on the original, Spike Lee's upcoming remake of High and Low at least seems as though it will be different enough to avoid too many direct comparisons. With any luck, Highest to Lowest could be just as good as High and Low in its own way. Spike Lee and Denzel Washington are set to continue their long-running professional collaboration on the upcoming remake, which is reason enough to be excited. The duo always seem to bring the best out of each other, like in Inside Man and Malcolm X. For example, it's not yet clear what role Denzel Washington will play in Highest to Lowest, but it seems likely that he will play a version of Toshiro Mifune's character from the original. Mifune plays a business executive who plans a leveraged buyout of his company, but he has to deal with his driver's son being kidnapped and held for ransom. It would be interesting to see Washington playing a villain role as one of the kidnappers, but there's also a good chance that he could play one of the lead detectives on the case, given his track record for playing cops. Lee could have a few surprises up his sleeve in this unusual remake. 6. The Naked Gun. Liam Neeson could be the face of a new franchise. Liam Neeson has had a few minor roles in comedy movies, like Love Actually and The Lego Movie, as well as cameos in TV shows like Life's Too Short and Derry Girls. When he gets the rare opportunity to make audiences laugh, he invariably proves that he's a master of dry, deadpan comedy. It's a shame that it's taken so long for him to get a starring role in a comedy, but a remake of The Naked Gun seems like the perfect project for him. If anyone can follow Leslie Nielsen's iconic comedy performances as incompetent cop Frank Drabin, Neeson is a strong candidate. It will be hard to replicate the sheer number of laugh-out-loud moments in The Naked Gun, and Neeson's performance is just one piece of the puzzle. He will also need a script bursting with clever wordplay, and it will help if he's surrounded by sight gags that are just as funny. Fortunately, his supporting cast is shaping up nicely. Fresh from her career-defining performance in The Last Showgirl, Pamela Anderson is changing gears to take on a comedic role. Underrated character actor Paul Walter Hauser is also in line to play a straight man character opposite Neeson's funny man role. 5. The Chronicles of Narnia. Greta Gerwig is following Barbie with another ambitious adaptation. The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis have been popular children's books ever since their publication in the 1950s, with their most famous big-screen adaptations starting in 2005 with The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. Although the 3 movies in the franchise were all big commercial hits, their critical reputation declined with each sequel. Even the first movie, the highest rated of the 3, leaves some room for improvement. The recent news that Greta Gerwig is working on a remake for Netflix means that the books could get the adaptations they deserve off the back of her success with Barbie. Gerwig likely had her pick of projects in Hollywood, so her choice to adapt the Chronicles of Narnia suggests that the project is close to her heart, and that she believes she can do the books justice. Gerwig's Narnia movie remains cloaked in mystery at this point, with Enola Holmes star Louis Partridge the only actor announced so far. Casting classic characters like Aslan, Mr. Tumnus and the White Witch will be the first big test. Netflix recently announced that the Narnia movie will get an IMAX release, showing the faith that the streaming platform has in Gerwig's vision. 4. Bugonia. Yorgos Lanthimos and Emma Stone are continuing their creative partnership. Emma Stone smiling in Poor Things. After The Favorite, Poor Things and Kinds of Kindness, Emma Stone is continuing her work with Yorgos Lanthimos, and their next collaboration is already approaching. Bugonia is set to release in November, with Stone playing a powerful pharmaceutical CEO who gets kidnapped by an unhinged conspiracy theorist, played by Jesse Plemons. It's a remake of the Korean sci-fi comedy Save the Green Planet, which is a first for Lanthimos. He has directed a book adaptation and a movie loosely based on a true story, but never a remake.